do it again tonight under the hot lights here in Vegas. Meanwhile, let's turn to HBO boxing analyst Larry Merchant to set up the first of the two fights. Larry, what does it say about young Miguel Cotto that at this still tender stage of his career, he's willing to take on an opponent in Lovemore and Doe, who on very short notice the last time out gave the extremely highly regarded Charmbay Mitchell all he could handle for 12 rounds?
Well, it says that Cotto's brain trust believe that he is something special, not just talking about it, but showing it in picking this opponent. It also says to Cotto that he has the stuff of their beliefs, of their convictions. It says also that having separated himself from all those very good 140-pounders from the 2000 Olympics, now he's trying to separate himself from the graduates of that 2000 Olympics in all divisions. And it says to us that if he can beat Lovemore and Doe, and you'll have to pardon me for this one, Jim, that everyone will love him a little bit more.
I'm stunned you were able to find a pun off of that name. All right, let's turn our attention to the tail of the tape now as we get ready for Cotto against Indo, and you will see some evidence here of how Miguel Cotto seems ready to bulge out of the 140-pound weight class. Look at that bottom line, and you can see that Cotto will enter the ring tonight having weighed in at 140 27 hours ago. He now weighs 155 pounds. He's 9 years younger. They're the same height. There's a 1-inch arm length advantage measured from the armpit to the end of the fist for the South African Indo. And yesterday at the weigh-in, Cotto barely made it at 140 after some time in the sauna. Indo easily making weight at 138. You can see he's put on 10 pounds overnight to get to 148. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Miguel Cotto Lovemore fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules that you see on your screen. Jim, real quick, the 4 criteria that the judges will use to score each individual round: clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense, with a strong emphasis on clean, effective punching. Jim.
All right, thank you very much, Harold Letterman. Lovemore and Doe, something of a late bloomer. He moved several years ago from his homeland of South Africa to Sydney, Australia. There are many black South Africans who like what they see in the new South Africa. Lovemore is not one of them. He thinks that the troubled environment is going to be around for quite some time, and frankly, loves living in Australia now.
Where he has a college degree and is talking about going for a master's. Told us that when he was 11 years old, he was clapped in jail for 10 days after getting in a fight because he wouldn't call a white man boss.
Extremely strong looking for this weight class. Indo has massive shoulders and biceps for a 140-pound fighter, and he showed his strength in banging away at Charmbay Mitchell over 12 rounds. The scores in that fight, 2 of them were wide at 17-11 and 18-10, but one score was 15-13, and most ringside observers thought that was a fairer measure of what had gone on in a fight that Indo took on 10 days' notice. And now we get ready for Cotto, who was originally planning to fight Juan Pollo Valenzuela tonight. Valenzuela, an entirely different kind of opponent than Indo, but Cotto says, doesn't matter to me. They line him up, I knock him down.
Cotto believes, and this is a bit unusual for such a young fighter, still 23, that his stable marriage, which he has 3 children, 2 of them his wives by a former relationship, has helped him to progress as quickly as he can.
Indeed. Looking for his 20th straight win tonight. There is great physical maturity there, but as Larry underlines, great emotional and mental maturity as well for Miguel Cotto, and that is what has separated him and American middleweight Jermaine Taylor from all of the other prospects who emerged from the 2000 Olympics in Sydney. All right, they're in the ring and ready to go after each other, so let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer now for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, where tonight it's an evening of HBO World Championship Boxing, all bouts sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. This first contest is brought to you by Top Rank Incorporated and the site of the De La Hoya Hopkins June 5th pay-per-view middleweight doubleheader. the MGM Grand of Las Vegas. The 3 judges scoring this first bout using the 10-point system will be Carol Castellano, Dalby Shirley, and Glenn Trowbridge. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Tony Weeks. And now on the line, the WBC International and WBA Fedelatin titles, along with the vacant IBF #1 world ranking. Ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing in the super lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black with orange and officially weighing 138 pounds. His professional record stands at 38 victories, including 24 knockouts, with 6 defeats and 1 bout even. From Sydney, Australia, the challenger, Lovemore, the Black Panther, No! And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white, trimmed with maroon. His official weight, 140 pounds. His professional record, a perfect one. 19 bouts, 19 victories with 16 knockouts. Here is the pride of Caguas, Puerto Rico, presenting the undefeated champion, Miguel Cotto.
All right, one guy in. All right. That's it.
Okay, gentlemen, you already received your instructions. I'll receive your instructions. Okay, if it goes right here, it's okay. Anything else, it's going to be low. Mira, aquí está bien, aquí no. Goes right here, it's okay. Anything else, it's going to be low. Aquí está bien, aquí no. I want a good, clean fight. You can play Olympia. Obey my commands at all times. Above all, protect yourselves at all times. Escúchame, cuídate, listo, ready, let's go.
What we're hoping for tonight are a couple of what our marketing geniuses at HBO would call water cooler fights. Fights that they'll be talking about around the water coolers of America on Monday.
HBO and H2O, a marriage made in heaven. Go ahead, Manny.
Both of these fights that we have tonight has the potential of becoming just that, too.
Well, there's a lot of water cooler talk among boxing fans about Cotto. And it's almost impossible to find somebody who has anything negative to say about Cotto's performances and his potential.
Right now, he's emerging as probably being maybe the best of the crop of the 140-pound right now, which is very loaded with talent, with Bojados and all of those guys there. But he seems to be the perfect fighter at this stage of the career.
The reference there to Panchito Bojado of Mexico, who along with Muhammad Abdullayev, Ricardo Williams of the United States, Cotto, they all emerged from the Olympics into this weight class. Bojado, it appears, is probably going to be fighting more at welterweight in the future. And Abdullayev and Ricardo Williams have already run afoul of personal idiosyncrasies outside the ring that help to prevent them from being at their best in it. But with Cotto, it's been nothing but onward and upward and hardly a misstep so far.
One of the things he attributes to most of his consistent success is the fact that he says he gets in great condition for all of his fights, regardless of what the caliber of the opponent is.
He fights at a very measured pace, Emmanuel, and it helps him to dramatically limit his opponent's connects. The last couple of opponents against Cotto have landed less than 20% of their punches.
Endo is trying to test Cotto's patience by fighting very defensively.
And every time that Cotto starts moving forward, often you watch Nindu will take a little step back, just enough to make him have to stretch and get off balance.
Hard body shot with the left hand by Endo inside. Cotto with a couple of left hooks to the side of Endo's head, drives him back just a little bit. Hard counter right hand by Miguel Cotto. That left hook, fired in balance almost all the time. Just a natural shot. There it is again. Very few young fighters master the mechanics of the left hook the way Miguel Cotto has.
Have you noticed a change of strategy? All of a sudden, Nindo is starting to put more pressure on him now.
Now Endo starts to go forward and bangs Cotto with a left and a right.
Yeah, the first minute of the fight, he was back and back for the most, but now he's changed up and he's putting more pressure on Cotto now.
Now Endo trying to counter everything Cotto throws. And there's a open-handed left hand to the side of Cotto's neck. Now Endo misses as Cotto slips in the hard right hand. There's a big left hand to the top of Cotto's head, and he takes the punch as though he was wearing headgear.
Getting to be a left hook battle at this stage.
In Cotto's corner, where they speak Spanish, our interpreter is the great Ray Torres.
He felt your hand already. He felt your power. That's it. Nice and easy. There's no hurry. Okay, take a deep breath. Okay, nice and easy.
Every time he looks like he's set, flick out a left jab and move. Set yourself up off that left jab. Every time he looks set, jab and move. Don't stand there and let him throw at you.
That was a good round, okay?
Beautiful round.
Put your hands up, don't get careless. Okay, good.
Doing well, buddy. Beautiful.
Big breath.
CompuBox numbers in round one. Cotto 11 out of 52 as he started in a measured pace once again, and Endo 5 out of 33 according to CompuBox count. You heard Emmanuel mention it's become a left hook battle toward the end of the first round. Once again, there they trade left hooks, and Cotto's is the one that lands.
Cotto's is more accurate. There's a little bit more wider gap in Endo's, but you never can tell what can happen once one of them land. But at this stage right now, Endo is becoming a little more aggressive now with a little tight defense.
As virtually all veteran fighters will say in preparation for fighting a prospect like Cotto, Lovemore Endo was quite outspoken the last few days, saying he's not in my league. He doesn't have my experience. I think he's going to be a great fighter someday, but of course, I'll knock him out.
But we know the Endo is in good shape because he just fought last month.
Well, he's had 3 fights.
Yeah, which is very good.
Since February, which is awfully good and unusual in this day and age.
Stop.
Cotto keeps going hard down to the body with the left hook, and Endo continues to fire looping left hooks over the top in return. The shorter, harder punches belong to Cotto.
Yeah, and he seems to be a little bit more stabilized, but the thing, Endo is still unpredictable. He throws a wide hook, did it next time he throws uppercut, he throws a hook to the body. Cotto seems to be very patient, though, just taking his time.
Endo is just unorthodox enough to be different from what Cotto's been looking at in his last few fights.
Yeah, but I think he's going to challenge Cotto, though, because his mentality is that of a winner.
No. Body shot by Endo. Cotto's facial expression hasn't changed a bit since the beginning of the fight.
No.
Takes punches pretty well. Oh, there's a perfect 1, 2, 3, and while the first 2 punches didn't land solidly, the third one, the left hook, landed flush on the target. Endo sticking his jab.
Cotto is now trying to make Endo commit himself, where before it was Endo trying to make Cotto commit himself.
Yeah, everything has been reversed. But at this stage right now, I think Cotto realizes he's in for a tough fight, though.
Good trade to end the round. Cotto landing a right-hand shot up and under.
Again, keep breathing. Deep breaths. He's trying to butt you, so, all right? So feint him and then throw the uppercut. Okay, he takes all the feints. Feint him. If you get inside, feint him and then a jab.
That's the idea, mate. Every time he tries to back you up, just jab and move. That's beautiful.
Every now and then when you stand in front, he wants you to do underneath and over the top. Okay.
Nice little uppercut in here that caught Cotto by surprise, the only one that Endo has thrown. They seem quite happy with Endo's performance in his corner.
I would be quite happy if I was with him too, because at this stage right now, it looks like, provided he doesn't get caught with one big punch, it looks like it's going to be a rough night for Cotto the way it's going.
Why do you say that?
First of all, I just like his mentality. You know, when we interviewed him, he has a mentality of a winner. He has strong self-esteem, which I think is very important for a fighter to have, particularly going against a prospect. But he seems to be balanced out in his boxing. He jabs good, and he's willing to stand and trade.
Like Cotto, Endo has very strong legs. Both fighters acknowledging power comes from the base. Cotto digging that left hook to the body, partially blocked by the elbow.
Cotto is definitely the puncher between the two.
Endo landed that left hook to the side of Cotto's face. Cotto returning fire. Interesting tactical shift for Cotto to deal with here. In most of his recent fights, he's wound up stalking his opponents from the second or third round on. Tonight, he might have an opportunity to let Endo come to him and use his counterpunching skills.
Endo's going to be coming to him, and if the fight goes into the late rounds, Endo's going to put a lot of pressure on him. It may not be graceful, but he's going to do what he has to do to put a lot of pressure in the late rounds.
Think that'll be uncomfortable for Cotto, or do you think it'll play into his hands because of his faster hand speed?
I don't know. I think Endo is a much stronger opponent than he's ever fought. Physically, I think, mentally also. And as the fight goes on, he's going to apply more and more pressure on him physically and mentally.
You here see the second sequence in a row in which Endo pressures Cotto against the ropes. This time, Cotto deciding to return fire, but previous to that, he just moved away. Now Endo lands a hard right hand to Cotto's chin, and Cotto decides he wants to answer back. Cotto, a disciplined body puncher. And there's another uppercut by Endo.
This is good stuff here from a young
developing prospect.
Well, he's more than a developing prospect, I think. He's a young, experienced pro against an old pro who still has some youth in him, still some ambition, still trying to make something of his career.
Well, what a spirited opposition is being provided by Lovemore Endo, who's not afraid to trade with Cotto, even though every time they do trade, it appears that Miguel's the harder puncher.
Cotto looks much stronger.
Oh, he had to put the store up.
That's beautiful.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, hang on 1 second.
Listen, Lovemore, listen to me.
That's it, I've got it, mate.
He's going to come out fast this round. Oh, no. All right, Glaive, pants, please.
There, mate.
Pick up his pants.
Yep.
He's going to come out fast this round, okay? So I want you to box.
Jab first.
All right? Don't let him get set. You've got to flick that jab out.
Every time he's set.
The body shots are working good.
Okay.
Let's get some water on his head.
Emmanuel, between rounds, trainer Ray Alexander and the other cornerman in Lovemore Endo's corner allowed him to blow his nose into the towel. Will that accelerate the swelling from Cotto's shots?
Yeah, that's the one thing that they tell you. Definitely, if you have any injury to your eyes or anything, you don't blow your nose because it causes it to swell up more.
Well, we'll see what happens. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim. 29-28. 2 rounds to 1. Miguel Cotto. You know, Jim, in the first round, I thought he started very slow. I tell you, he just, I don't know, he was very slow. And he just picked up the pace in rounds 2 and 3. Those left hooks to the body are just vicious. You know, at the end of the round, a judge has to decide who's doing more damage. Let's face reality. In rounds 2 and 3, Cotto did more damage. 29-28, 2-1, Cotto.
Certainly hadn't taken the wind out of Endo's sails yet, as Endo continues to attack as though he's pretty secure about being in the fight.
A lot of those body shots that Cotto is throwing, it looks real good. For the most part, Endo has been smothering him. He hasn't been caught with most of those shots. He can catch him on the elbows or angling his body to the point where he can't get right there, where he doesn't get hit clean.
Doesn't it wear you down over the long haul, even if you're catching those shots on the elbows and the arms?
Especially when the guy that's fighting is weighing as much as he weighs, and even just a pound blocking on the elbow still wears you down.
Maybe the question that Endo wants to ask of Cotto is whether he can fight at this pace for 10, 11, 12 rounds, which he really hasn't been asked before.
That's right, and Endo had a very good fast-paced fight with Sean Mitchell, so he knows he can do that.
This fight is scheduled for 12 rounds. Cotto has been into the 11th against Cesar Bazan a little more than a year ago, but that's the longest distance he's ever gone.
Let's go.
This is one of the things that body punches do. Increasingly, Lovemore Endo is throwing one punch at a time instead of throwing combinations.
Yeah, right at this stage, right, most of the power punches are coming from Cotto. He's putting them together. He hasn't been able to penetrate and find that one good clean punch yet to the body, out to the head. But if he gets to keep punching just a numbers game, sooner or later he's going to have to start connecting. And his stamina looks tremendous. He's not even breathing.
Who's not breathing?
Cotto.
I hope he's breathing a little bit.
Oh, he caught Endo flush with that straight left hand through the guard. Endo comes back with a big right hand upstairs. Cotto goes back to the body. Big right hand by Endo. Cotto takes it well and starts to fire away with the left hook again. 5 straight punches by Cotto. Make it 6. 7. Now Endo finally fires a looping right hand. Cotto blocks the left to the body, comes back with a right and a left of his own, fires another 4-punch combination. All right. Tremendous action in the last minute of the round.
Good round for Cotto.
So you saw Miguel Cotto stepping up the intensity. Here's one of the most intense fighters anywhere in boxing, Manny Pacquiao, warming up the power punches to try to strafe Juan Manuel Marquez the way he obliterated Marco Antonio Barrera.
In the Philippines, he's a combination of Bruce Lee and Peter Pan. The media covers him like he's Princess Di.
And he loves it.
Got a smile on his face all day long, every day. CompuBox numbers through 4 on power punches. Endo, 27 out of 80, 34%. That's better than anybody has done against Cotto before. Cotto, 45 out of 169, so he's more than doubled Endo in the number of power punches thrown. Partially that's because of what I told you in the last round. Cotto fires in combination. Endo, more frequently, one punch at a time.
I have the sense that Endo's power punches are more armed punches.
Yeah, he's not as compact
than Cotto's is.
Cotto's are definitely much more powerful puncher, precision and power. Whereas Endo's is more with the arm.
Yeah, eye-catching right hand to the side of the head by Endo.
Well, if Cotto can comes through this with a victory, he will have proven himself ready to take on the best fighters in the division. But this is a long way to go.
Cotto and Floyd Mayweather Jr. are both promoted by Bob Arum and Top Rank. It is the dream of Top Rank executives that Cotto and Mayweather simply go through the 140-pound division together until there's nobody left but them, and they fight each other.
That would be a great fight.
Might be coming sooner rather than later.
The way Cotto restarts himself, moves, shows that he's a multi-dimensional, has unusual poise for a young fighter in the ring. Good footwork.
Give him up, give him up. Are you okay? You okay? Okay.
Endo is now concentrating on his most effective punch, which has been his left jab. And in fact, that's his only power punch, from what I can see for the most part. There's more power in his jab than he does his right hand or left hook.
Because he wings those shots so
Yes.
wide that they lose power on their way to the target.
Yes, and the jab he shoots straight.
It's hard to keep any weight behind a punch when you throw it wide of your body and let it loop.
Endo is now trying to bait, trap, or set a trap for Cotto to throw the right hand, tucking his chin under his
And at this stage,
shoulder.
this style has been effective. It's the most effective style that he's used to fight. By shooting that little stiff
And he
up.
tried three or
Yeah.
four different things.
Yeah, his up jab from an angle that he shoots is very effective, and it seems to be bothering Cotto right now.
Got in a good hard left to the body, and Cotto looked at referee Tony Weeks as if to say that one was low, and Weeks agreed.
No, stop,
Well, it's the sign of an experienced fighter and a versatile fighter that he can find 2 or 3 different ways to try to deal with an opponent.
And he's having success this round so far.
Endo has some of the creativity of a fighter named Howard Eastman, whom we've seen at 154 and 160. Like Endo, he tends to throw arm punches, but like Endo, he throws them from creative angles and quickly.
Feel all right? No problems?
That's better.
That's better.
Mate, you've got no idea how better it looks when you jab and move.
You've got to jab and move, mate. You can't stand and face this way. I don't want you standing there.
Every time.
Stupid. Don't have to.
Stick that jab, aim for his chest. Don't try to hit him in the face, aim for his
He's
chest.
ducking down.
He'll duck into it.
Listen, he's getting frustrated, mate. He really is. He's starting to push.
That right hand to the ribs, that hurt. That hurt him.
Respira duro.
Deep breath.
Here's the overhand right that did catch Cotto pretty well from Endo.
And I thought Endo did enough to win that last round too, Larry.
And I thought Miguel Diaz did an interesting thing in the corner at that time. He said that shot to the body really hurt him. Instead of saying go to the body, he says that shot hurt him.
Now Cotto comes out in a southpaw stance to begin this round.
Well, that just shows that the style that Endo used the last round has been very effective and is troubling him, and he can't get his rhythm back together now, so he's trying something himself different.
And now he steps out of the southpaw stance back into a conventional stance, so it lasted fewer than 20 seconds.
Stop.
Trying to see if all of these changes rattle a young fighter.
Well, I tell you what, that left jab is finding his target with a lot of regularity at Cotto's left eye right now.
Keep your head up.
Cotto's left eye beginning to swell, and he hasn't faced that kind of difficulty in any fight before.
Oh, come on, stop. Come on, keep your head up now. Come on.
If Endo could shorten up his right hand the way he's shortening up his jab, he would be okay.
Endo almost went down. Managed to stay upright somehow. He landed a couple good shots, but then Cotto saw the vulnerability and has gone after the body and the head. 2 good uppercuts by Endo. Cotto comes back with an uppercut of his own. And a hard right hand across the top. And now a big left hook backs Endo off.
This is a beautiful sequence by Cotto.
Cotto has the ideal body and short punches for getting into the pocket and working inside.
Yeah, very good, accurate puncher. A lot of power in those precision punches, too. But sooner or later, just one little gap where the guy has his hand in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he can connect. And then once he catches next with a guy, it's almost over with because he punches that good.
Cotto not active right now as Endo gets off 5 shots in a row and lands a left.
Endo just doesn't have the punching power.
Endo bunching up into a peekaboo defense. Cotto blocks his shot with the glove. Lead right hand. Corner tried to convince Endo between rounds that Cotto's getting frustrated. Sometimes it's hard to tell if Cotto's in a fight or a sparring session. He looks so relaxed in there. Cotto's totally aware this is going to be a long fight.
Yeah, but he seems to be settling in and fighting a very intelligent fight.
Close your eyes so we can put some water there.
Respira profundo.
Okay, deep breath.
Bien profundo.
Real deep.
Ya sintió tus manos.
Now he felt your hands. Now he felt your power. He's very vulnerable. You're gonna. It's gonna be a matter of minutes.
On the back of his neck a little bit too, Stitch.
He's trying to take your legs away from you by working your body. Don't let him work your body. Catch, move.
When he's
bang,
walking in to
bang,
punch
right
the
in.
body, stick your jab out. Put him off center.
Drop your jab
Drop
down
your
his
jab
chest.
lower to the chest, mate. That's all you got to
Right hands
do.
after.
Get the
Right?
jab going again. That's what set him up.
Let's go back.
Get his rhythm.
There you saw early in the fight a left hook that buckled Endo, but there was also a little bit of a water spot that at that point in the canvas, and it may have contributed to a slight slip. Now Cotto turns southpaw.
Second time in the fight. He did it at the beginning of the last round also. Harold, how do you have it through 6 as Cotto lands a big left hand?
Okay, Jim. 59-55, 5 rounds to 1. Miguel Cotto. Jim, he's so much stronger. He's winning it on punching power. Clean, effective punching. I mean, when he lands a shot, it does an awful lot more damage than when Endo lands a shot.
Emmanuel, he's a pretty good southpaw fighter.
Yeah, he's doing what he has to do, but this is coming from the amateur days. I think a lot of the kids fought in the amateurs by fighting left-handed and right-handed. But the difference is right now when Cotto lands, even if Endo blocks the punches, the impact of his power still moves Endo's body around. You can see that it's tiring him out just blocking those punches coming from Cotto.
Oh, there's a jolting left hook from Cotto, right through the guard.
I sense that Cotto is...
And out of his own southpaw stance, Endo lands a hard left hand.
Yeah, I sense that Endo is a little bit frustrated. He doesn't know what to do with this young guy in front of him to make an impression on him, but he keeps trying.
But I don't think the southpaw stance is as great an idea for him as it was for Cotto.
No, that's right. Every city's changing these styles, but everybody's trying to find something that can give them that decidedly comfortable edge. Nobody's really gotten the edge in this fight still the way that they would like to have it. Even though Cotto is winning, but he's not landing any clean, decisive punches directly on the chin or clear to the body, so he's still searching himself also.
In his last fight, Cotto simply annihilated Victoriano Sosa here in Las Vegas, Feb 27. Sosa is a fighter who went the distance with Floyd Mayweather Jr. in Fresno last year and who had a spirited fight with Paul Spadafora in Pittsburgh, in which he had Spadafora down and almost out early in the fight. Cotto handled that fighter with no problem. Endo's given him much more trouble.
That may have been
right
the
hand.
cleanest punch of the whole fight, I think, was that straight left hand that he caught Cotto with there at time.
Fighting out of the southpaw stance again.
Yeah, but it was a very effective punch, directly on the chin.
Sometimes when fighters change stances and change strategies, it's an admission of weakness that they couldn't get the other guy.
They're trying to find something that will work.
But both of these guys have been effective from different stances in this fight.
What a firefight. What an entertaining battle.
Next
For the
round.
still arriving crowd here in the MGM Grand Garden Arena. And there's a look at Juan Manuel Marquez. That's part of what they're still arriving for. Marquez who will be defending 2 featherweight title belts against Filipino punching sensation Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao is the supreme attacker in the featherweight division. Marquez right now is its smoothest and most effective counter-puncher. Want to see a great fight? Stick with us. This could be memorable stuff. Beautiful night in Las Vegas. Not too overwhelmingly hot. Maybe no more than 100 or so today.
Clean left hand from Cotto here. One of his best punches.
I think that round was the first round that both guys started to land in clean punches.
There's swelling around Miguel Cotto's left eye. You know, the looping right hands thrown by Lovemore Endo.
Endo's has sparred hundreds of rounds with Costa Tszyu, the recognized champion of this division. So he's been in with some big firepower.
Cotto opened this round with a vicious straight right hand and a solid left hook. Now he has Endo on the defensive as the round progresses. Endo still in that southpaw stance in which he fought the last minute and a half or so of the preceding round. Having landed that one huge left hand, Endo seems to think that this is the way to go. He throws punches straighter from the southpaw stance.
Yes. He doesn't, at least the way he clubs with the right hand when he's in his right hand position. He's punching more accurate, but still just the power difference and the strength is such a big factor in this fight.
Well, and there's a big differential in power when Endo's in his unnatural southpaw stance and Cotto is in his natural conventional stance.
And Cotto has landed so many more hard body punches in this fight.
Another huge left hook to the body by Cotto. Endo just trying to get away.
My guess
Chopping
is
right hand went through the middle of the guard.
My guess is those body punches have reduced Endo now to fighting in spurts.
That's right. Even though they haven't been clean, they still have taken their effect.
Uppercut lands for Cotto. Straight right hand backs Endo up. Endo moves back to the ropes as Cotto fires a 1-2.
In case you were wondering, Endo has never been stopped, and you can see why.
Got a big beard. Endo said that he can't expect to win a decision here. He wouldn't get any better treatment here, he thinks, than he did in Atlantic City against Sharmba Mitchell, where he believes that he should have won the fight and lost by unanimous decision. So Endo believes that, by and large, he would have to knock Cotto out to win the fight, and that was what he was expecting to do.
Keep him up.
And that's very difficult, especially being that he's not a power puncher for the most part.
He's a power trier, I'll tell you that. There's not a moment of give up in Lovemore Endo.
No, this is a tough fight for Cotto also, too, and I'm quite sure he's aware of it now.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, it's all good. It's good. Okay.
Now listen.
A few more punches up the centre.
You've got to go up the middle.
And then move.
And go side on after that. Okay?
Slide out.
Don't go down backwards.
All right, listen, dry up his gloves. They're all wet. You did good by pushing him back. Push him back and hit him in the body. Little by little, we're gaining on him.
Endo early in the fight started throwing uppercuts. Seems to have given Cotto a good idea of how to retaliate. Well, Endo seems to realize now that he has to become the hunter.
Yes, and I think that's what he's trying to do now. Probably thinking his experience and Cotto's inexperience in these long fights, I guess, is going to be to his advantage. Seems like he comes out now to put more pressure on Cotto.
Cotto has used his feet more these last couple of rounds than probably in any previous fight.
Well, Endo's got his confidence up now, I think, based on landing that punch and the pressure that he's putting on Cotto. Cotto's backing away now, retreating.
Endo landed a right hand, as you heard, that got the crowd into it. And the left hand lands flush for Endo. Cotto hadn't done much in this round.
Cotto's going to have to do something to get some respect, because the faster he moves, the faster he's going to make him move.
There's an initial burst of respect. Big right hand by Endo. Flush on the cheek. And that one he wound up and fired from left field. Trying to follow up now. Cotto's left eye is swelling badly. Endo missing the top of Cotto's head.
If he can throw a straight right hand, Cotto will be in big trouble. But all he's doing, he's really chopping with the right hand for the most part.
Is there danger for Cotto of tiring himself out using all this footwork to stay away?
Yeah, he's moving pretty fast.
A lot of the steam seems to have gone out of Cotto's punches in this round. Endo has landed the harder shots here in the night. Left hook, Cotto's best shot of the round. And he continues to use lateral movement to slow down Endo's attack. Endo fires one more big right hand to punctuate the round. It was partially blocked. Each Friday night, catch On the Record with Bob Costas. The week's show includes a discussion with Leslie Nielsen and Peter Graves about the comedy classic Airplane, and an interview with a real Hollywood legend, Dennis Hopper.
Okay. We need to put pressure on this guy. Come on, let's go. How many more rounds?
Here's a looping right hand that was effective in that round by Endo. Was it Cotto asking how many more rounds in that corner?
It was somebody else in the corner. Cotto didn't say a word, but someone else in the corner wanted to know how many more rounds.
Maybe
the answer is 3. The answer is 3, and I think what you're suggesting, Larry, is that maybe there's a concern about fatigue at this moment.
Well, if they're starting to talk about rounds, yes.
Well, because Endo had a very good last round, even though I thought Cotto landed some beautiful combinations while he was boxing. But the momentum is going towards Endo at this stage, and that's probably what they're concerned about.
Now, let me correct myself, as our interpreter, Ray Torres, reports from Cotto's corner that it was, in fact, Cotto who asked how many more rounds were left in the fight. Cotto becoming the aggressor again now here in round 10. As Endo may be a little bit tired from having fired hard punches in the 9th round. It was the first round in the fight in which he outlanded Cotto.
Well, he's going to have to be aggressive. I think backing away is not working effective for him, because Endo's putting pressure on him, and it seems like psychologically it looks like he's giving up by backing away like that. And that can impress the judges. You know, here in Las Vegas, they like guys to finish up strong. And we saw what happened with Trinidad and De La Hoya the first fight.
It's a mark of how idiosyncratic boxing scoring can be, of course, that one of the 3 judges in De La Hoya Trinidad gave the 12th round to Oscar De La Hoya. How funny is that?
Probably just as absurd as the way the decision was, too, with a lot of people.
Yes. Hard right hand by Cotto and a left hand. Endo has slowed down in the 10th round. Another fluid combination by Cotto. Almost switched to a southpaw stance. Decided against it. Charging right hand by Endo. Side of Cotto's head. Big left hand by Cotto as he caught Endo clean coming out of the exchange.
Cotto took a big sweeping right hand, and Endo, and Cotto made him pay for it.
Uppercut lands for Endo. Cotto shakes it off. Crowd pleasing to say the least. Now, Endo pressuring Cotto one more time as Miguel seems to have run out of steam after having fired those combinations against the ropes. Still to come, Manny Pacquiao will be going for 126-pound supremacy. 5 months ago, he knocked out Marco Antonio Barrera. So now he goes against another of the 3 great Mexican featherweights of the last 10 years, Juan Manuel Marquez. And if he can beat Marquez, then the plan is for him to go out next and fight Eric Morales. It is about as audacious a fight plan for a young prospect or for a new champion as we've seen in a long time.
6 minutes.
Back live in the ring. 2 rounds to go between Lovemore, Endo, and Miguel Cotto.
On my scorecard,
that's all you're doing wrong.
Endo needs to stop Cotto
Come behind the
to
jab.
win the fight.
And I don't think that's going to happen.
CompuBox numbers on power punches through 10. Endo 77 out of 222, 35%. That's by far the best anybody's done against Cotto. But Cotto's still a little bit more prolific. 119 out of 407. Harold, how do you have it through 10?
Okay, Jim. 97-93, 7 rounds to 3, Miguel Cotto. Jim, I gotta tell you something. If you're a fatigued fighter, you don't run away. I mean, Miguel Cotto absolutely ran away and lost the 9th round. I mean, without question, very, very odd round. But be as it may, he came back, showed he's the stronger fighter in round 10. He's got a commanding 4-point lead.
And a hard right hand that lands flush on Endo. How tough is Lovemore Endo? He's taken a good deal of hard artillery from Miguel Cotto and just keeps coming.
And we got to give Miguel credit too, because I've been impressed with his toughness tonight too, because he's never got completely unraveled. And he's been hit with some good punches for a young fighter.
No, stop. Oh, come on, stay off his head, all right, come on.
He's just very, very lucky that Endo cannot punch with a straight right hand.
Who says he can't throw a straight right hand, Emmanuel?
He must have heard me.
If Cotto comes out of this with a victory, it will be a fight that will stand him in good stead for a long time, knowing that some nights you go in there, you do your best, you hit the other guy a lot, and the other guy keeps coming at you. You have to find other things to do.
In other words, you said in this fight he will grow and develop from.
Absolutely. This is if this is the last fight of the first part of his career or the first fight of the next part, whatever it is, it would be an important test for him.
Good left hand for Endo. Cotto is in another round of semi-retreat. Not a lot of steam on those Cotto punches, so Endo just keeps pressing forward.
He presses forward, but Cotto is still getting off the more effective punches and getting in and out, But even though he's backing up, he's winning the fight on clean punches now.
This is a boxing round for Cotto. He's used his feet more in the past 2 or 3 rounds than at any previous time in his career.
Endo gets right there, but he can't pull the trigger when he gets in position.
20th professional fight for Miguel Cotto. Comes in at 19-0 with 16 knockouts. Most celebrated young prospect in the sport at this moment. Getting a battle from Lovemore Endo.
Okay, we're doing fine. Everything is cool.
Es el último, hay que ganar el round. Hay que ganar el round. Oh, we had a bit of a spell. No more spells.
Last round, Lovemore.
3 minutes, flat shot, right, switch.
Come back with that left uppercut.
He's going to come out strong.
Come back with that left uppercut, left hook, mate. You're getting with it every time. That's after right hand.
He's going to come out strong. You've got to meet him halfway, Lovemore.
You're killing him.
We need to win this round. Let's try those gloves. Okay, deep breaths and chill. You got to watch it.
Warrior more. You're going to be the warrior.
CompuBox numbers on power punches in the 11th showed it to be a virtually even round. Cotto 14 out of 35 by CompuBox count. Endo 12 out of 39. You heard Endo's corner saying Cotto will come out strong in the 12th. Endo decides he wants to be the one who's coming out strong. He's the aggressor to begin the round. Big right hand by Lovemore Endo. And another right hand to the top of the head. Cotto takes them both very well. Comes back with his own shots. If Endo were able to put as much body behind his punches as Cotto does behind his, this would be an even fight.
It would be a definitely even fight, but Cotto releases his punches a little quicker. Where Endo gets there and he normally has to get set to punch. Cotto lets his punches just get off a lot faster.
In the pocket.
Okay.
And Cotto backs off, telling Tony Weeks that Endo hit him in the hips. Good left hook to the body by Endo. Right hand to the rib cage as well. Cotto getting tested severely down the stretch. Hard right hand by Cotto. Stuns Lovemore Endo. Now here comes Endo again. Quick left hook by Cotto. Won the exchange. Endo momentarily tired. Endo's right hand didn't have a lot on it.
And I'll tell you what, when this final bell ends, Cotto will be very relieved.
And if Cotto gets the decision, I got a hunch Endo's going to say he was robbed again.
Yeah, but no. He's fought a very good fight.
He's going to say, I taught this young man a lesson. And the only reason that he got the decision is that it's his promoter and his promoter's hometown. Fact is, it's been a good, close fight in which Miguel Cotto has had just a little bit the better of it, it would appear to us.
Especially the early rounds. So you remember the last rounds, but the early rounds, even though they might not be that exciting, there's a winner and a loser. And Cotto won about most the first half of the fight. Cotto won very big.
Well, Miguel Cotto is going to go 12 full rounds for the first time in his career, and as a mark of how tough it's been for him, moments ago he stole a look up at the scoreboard above him to see how much time was left. He makes it. A final flurry just before the bell for the Puerto Rican star. And in a moment, we'll find out if he's still a star.
Well, Cotto is like a third-round draft pick that turns out to be better than the first-rounders. But time will tell if he's an all-pro.
Did you see new question marks here?
Well, I think his power is not as great as some people thought it was, even though he was in with a real tough guy, and not everybody's going to be able to stand up to him.
Lovemore Indo has never been knocked out in 45 previous fights, so it's no accident that Lovemore Indo makes it through here. Harold, how did you score the fight?
You know, Jim, I'm the kind of judge that I like effective aggressiveness. I never score rounds for guys that just run away. I think that Miguel Cotto blew rounds 11 and 12. I mean, he was on his bicycle. Lovemore Indo was the effective aggressor and wrapped him with some real good shots. It became a close fight. 7 rounds to 5, 115, 113, Miguel Cotto. He had that big early lead, and Lovemore Indo turned it on. I thought he won rounds 9, and certainly 11 and 12. He nearly chased Cotto out of the ring.
I had Cotto winning by 8 rounds to 4 comfortably.
And Cotto was, by CompuBox numbers, 28 out of 90 in the 12th round. Throwing 90 punches in the 12th round is impressive. Endo threw 67 and landed 25, a higher connect percentage and more power punches. The judges, Carol Castellano of Massachusetts, veteran judge, and you can see that she scored the first Barrera-Morales fight for Eric Morales. That made her the minority in that fight. Dalby Shirley scored the first. All right, check it. That made her part of the majority in that fight, excuse me, because Morales did get the win. Dalby Shirley was the man who scored the fight 115-112 for Morales in that first Morales-Barrera fight, which a lot of ringside observers thought Barrera had won, but which the judges gave to Morales. And then the third fight, Glenn Trowbridge, not as well known, with not as much title fight experience as the other two. And now let's go to Michael Buffer and find out how they scored the fight as Miguel Cotto prays in his corner.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the MGM Grand, we go to the scorecards. Glenn Trowbridge scores it 117 to 111. Dalby Shirley 115 to 113. And Carol Castellano scores it 116 to 112. All for the winner by unanimous decision. Still undefeated, Miguel Cotto. How about a round of applause for the young man from Sydney, Australia?
Final CompuBox numbers on the unanimous decision victory for Cotto over Endo, and you saw the expression on Endo's face, which showed you exactly what he thought of the unanimous decision against him.
But, you know, once again, it's a case of where they don't want to remember the early parts of the fight. Everybody remembers the last thing that happened, but the first part of the fight was really what decided the decision in this fight.
And that's where Cotto built up most of the statistical margins you'll see in these CompuBox numbers. Power punches, Cotto landing 42 more, throwing 183 more. And it was Endo who landed 35% of his power punches. To repeat something I've said throughout the fight, if you look at the CompuBox statistics for all of Miguel Cotto's fights, Endo was more productive, more accurate, able to get at Cotto with power.